Hi, everyone, and welcome to Holistic Movement with me. And I believe we're on episode 15. If I'm wrong, I'll just say something. I'm a dumbass. How can you forget the number? Stuff like that. Anyway, I wanted to bring up something before we start. If you've been watching these, think about all of these movements as salad dressing to your. Why did I do that? That was kind of like pepper or salt. As salad dressing to hopefully your already habitual movement exercises or patterns that you practice. And you can change the salad dressing anytime you want. You can pick and choose any of these exercises and just add them in depending on what you need at the time. These exercises are what I've been working on recently, and mainly because of problems in my neck or my mouth, the diaphragm in my mouth, my lower back, all those things. And so it changes over time. And so pick and choose. Not every exercise is designed for you. It's just kind of like when you pick up a book in a bookstore, when there used to be bookstores. Yeah, nah, put it down. A year later, you pick it back up and you're like, oh, yes, it's just not the right time for you yet. And some of these positions will never be proper for you, depending on how your body type, so many different factors. Okay. Anyway, diatribe done. Let's continue with the diaphragm of the mouth. Remember last week we did strengthening of the diaphragm in the mouth where we drew that outline on the back of the lips. Let's continue with that. I thought we'd review it a little bit and then we'll get into the neck again. So let me go over what we're going to do because when I do it, I can't talk. And then you're saying, thank God, shut the. So I want you to remember you're going to push the tongue forward and you're going to draw an outline. Keep pushing forward, even when you're down here on the sides, because that's the most difficult part to push forward. For me, maybe for you, it's top or bottom, or maybe there are different points that are difficult for you. Okay. And don't forget to breathe, circumferential breathing. All right. So let's start up. We're going to do 3 clockwise and we're going to do 3 counterclockwise. If that's not enough for you, pause the video, do more. If you feel like 1 is enough, exhausted, then stop. Okay, here we go. Wow. Okay, I thought we'd pause in between. Okay. Now notice how you're feeling there. Okay, now we're going to go counterclockwise. If you need to pause the video and take a little bit longer break, feel free to. Here we go. Wow. Yep. Sorry, I just sniffled there. There's a lot of moisture in the air. Sorry for the sniffles. Wow. Now, I took a break from doing this yesterday, and man, I noticed a difference. What about you? Close your eyes and feel. For me, it's right here. What about you? Maybe you feel in your jaw. If you feel in the jaw, maybe you're doing it wrong. And so practice this again and again and again. Okay? So why don't we lie on our back just for a second, just to rest. And I just want you to notice how your pelvis is touching the floor and how your rib cage is touching the floor. Okay? The reason why I bring this up is because hopefully I'll remember at the end to notice how your pelvis and the rib cage is touching the floor in a second. Okay? And then we're going to get into the neck. Okay, bend your right knee, roll on over. I'm going to grab a pillow right here. Now, maybe you don't have one of these pillows at home. You want to grab just a couple pillows. So pause the video right now and grab some pillows. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lie and we're going to stretch and try to lengthen and breathe into the scalene muscles. Remember we did this exercise before where we kind of lengthen them, the anterior, middle, and posterior. So what we're going to do, here are the pillows right here, right? And you're going to have your legs, your quads, and your thighs in line with your belly. And you'll probably see this from that camera. I'll switch views. And then your shoulders are going to be over the pillow. Okay? And your right arm, so we're lying on our right side, and the right arm is lying on the floor. And then I'm going to place my left arm right here, just on the side of my body. And I'm going to let my head drop. And when I let my head drop, I immediately feel tension in the side of my neck. Now, if you do not, meaning a stretching tension, if you do not feel stretch in the neck, maybe you need to grab some more pillows, or maybe your shoulders are on the pillow. So you need to find that sweet spot, okay? And then I'm just going to let my head fall. This can be disconcerting because it's your neck and it's a very emotional area. Now, this left arm, what I'm going to do, this arm is going to, the shoulder is going to go away from my head. And when I do that, that's going to traction the scalene muscles because I'm taking the first rib and the second rib away. And those are the insertion points of the scalenes away. And hopefully you're feeling that too. We're doing this really slowly. And just keep lengthening so that shoulder drops down and then you bring it back. Do you notice how slow the movement is? And then I'm letting my head drop even more. Okay. All right, let's rest there. Take a break there. Let the head drop if you want. Okay. You can even lie on your back if you want, but I'm just going to lie here and talk you through it. Okay. Now, the next movement, I'm going to open this palm, the left palm, towards the ceiling. I'm going to bring this arm behind me. And then I'm just going to play with this arm position. You can also bring this arm all the way up towards the ear. But for me, I like just kind of playing with this arm position forward and back here. And I went too fast there. Go really slowly. Now you might not feel as much of a stretch here from this. Okay. And then we're just bringing that arm behind us. Now, if you feel more of a stretch with the arm just lying on the side of the body like I do, come back to that. Or you can play with that arm position. Okay. Now we're going to play with the leg position. Watch this. We're going to bring this left leg forward and the right leg back. And then what do you notice there? And then I can rotate the rib cage a little bit. I can lengthen this arm forward. I can bring the arm back. Okay, and then you can turn the chin down or turn the chin up. I can also raise the chin up and bring the chin down, and then I get the posterior scalenes, and then I get the anterior scalenes. The rotation adds a little bit too, but I really like raising the chin up and then bringing the chin down. Okay, now bring the legs back. Now bring the right leg in front, the left leg behind. Oh yeah, now I feel even more of a pull there, especially on my middle and my posterior scalenes. Yep, and let that head drop. Let it drop. Yep. And then I'm bringing that head, that arm behind me again if you want to experiment a little bit. But I prefer actually the arm on the side of the body. Just play around with it. Okay? And then let's slowly come on back. So watch this. I'm going to lie on the pillows on my back like this. I'm going to move the mic there. Sorry. Now I'm just going to bring my spine into extension here and place the pillows on my mid back just to push that thoracic spine a little bit forward. All right. Stay there for a few breaths. Okay. Now I'm going to bend my left knee. I'm going to roll over to my right hand side. I'm going to come on up and then we're going to switch the other side. But before we do, I'm going to come back to neutral here and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to go a little bit quicker, but not too quick. And let me tell you where I got this from. I got this from Wojtek Wakowski. He's the head of Anatomy Trains out of Poland. And he calls it Zoga. I think I brought that up last or 2 sessions ago, 2 episodes ago, and he's a genius, this guy. He takes Anatomy Trains connective tissue lines, the myofascial lines, and incorporates them into movements that really stretch these myofascial lines, okay? So thank you, Wojtek. Okay, so we're going to have the shoulder over the pillow, okay? The left arm is out to the side. Remember, I want to bring the thighs in line with the chest here, and you'll probably see it from this camera angle. And I'm going to drop this head down to the left. I'm going to keep my right arm on the side of my body, and I'm just going to feel the stretch here and let my head drop. Okay, now I can traction the neck. So I'm going to drop this right shoulder, the hand down towards the knee, and then bring it back. And you notice that my head raised up? Probably a little bit of fear there to let the head just fall into the neck. So that shoulder goes away and then brings back. Shoulder goes away and then it comes back. Shoulder goes away and it comes back. Shoulder goes away, comes back. Now, I can also, shoulder goes away and turn the chin down towards the floor. I can bring the chin up. Shoulder goes away. Okay. I can also bring the chin up, close the mouth. I can also bring the chin down. Shoulder goes down. Okay. You can also bring that right arm behind you. I'm touching the wall there. And I feel a lot more tension in my right biceps. I'm trying not to bend the wrist. I'm going to come a little bit more forward so then my hand can go behind me. Okay. You can, if you want, you can bend that wrist and that's going to pull on that connective myofascial plane within your arms there. It's called the superficial and deep front line. And I really feel it all the way up into my biceps. Oh, yeah. So this is what I was talking about at the beginning. Remember the salad dressing I was saying? A little balsamic vinegar on you? This is what I need to work on right here. So when I finish filming, I'm going to open up my deltoids more. What about you? Where do you feel tightness? And then when you pause the video, go into that, explore those areas. Okay? I'm going to bring the arm back and then let the head drop again. Remember, all these movements are experiments, I guess, kind of testing out, seeing which positions tell you what you're holding and what you need to strengthen. Okay, so I'm going to lie on my back. And oh, shit. I totally forgot about the leg movement. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to bring that right leg forward, and then I'm going to drop that shoulder down. Okay, and let the head drop. All right, why don't you bring the right leg forward? And then I'm going to switch because I feel I'm going to get more of a benefit with the left leg forward. And I am. Yup. That arm behind. See, you can experiment. Legs forward, the right leg forward, left leg forward. It depends on what you want to work on and what you're feeling. It's like, oh yeah, that just opened up my abdominal region and my obliques on my right. The possibilities are endless. Okay, so finally, sorry, we're going to lie on our backs now again. And place those pillows right on your thoracic spine and just lean back. Oh, yeah. Just doing this for about 10 minutes can be wonderful for your back and bring mobility into your thoracic cage and just breathing into your thoracic spine and your rib cage. Okay, let's bend the right knee. Let's roll on over. And then I'm going to throw this pillow away. And then we're going to lie on back. Oh, yeah. Now, remember how when I said at the beginning, can you feel the pelvis and the rib cage and how they're touching the floor? For me, I feel like I'm floating. I literally feel like I'm floating. I feel like that sacrum and the rib cage are just lighter. I don't know about you. What about you? How do you feel? Okay. Take a few more breaths. I'm going to bend my right knee. I'm going to roll on over. Keep lying down. And then we're going to move up and do the final. It's the Zoga episode, you know? Okay. And so we're going to go into Zoga again. And it's a continuation of what we did before. And I'm going to come a little bit more forward. And we're going to bring our right leg forward into 90 degrees. And my left leg goes back as far back as it can go. Okay. Now, and my right hand is supporting me here. Now, remember, we're going to review the first two parts, and then we're going to add the final movement to it. Okay. So I'm going to place the left hand on the side of the rib cage, and we're just going to shift the rib cage to the left and right. And remember, this left shoulder, I'm not tensing it. I'm just using it as a proprioceptive tool to tell my brain that the rib cage exists. And it helps me a little bit. But look, I can let that go. I can still shift that rib cage. Maybe you're not able to. Maybe you still need the help of the hand, and that's okay. That's karaoke. Okay? If you live in Asia or have ever been to Asia, maybe you get that dumbass joke, karaoke. It's like karaoke. Anyway, so now we're going to draw a circle. Churn the butter, as I call it. We're going to draw a circle with that rib cage. So clockwise. And then counterclockwise. Okay. Yep. Okay. Let's rest here for a second. All right. And then we're going to place the hand on the pelvis. Remember the thumb behind you. Okay. And we're going to tilt the pelvis into an anterior tilt and bring the spine upward into extension. And then the pelvis goes into a posterior tilt. We come into flexion. So anterior tilt, extension, posterior tilt, flexion. Anterior tilt, extension, posterior tilt, flexion. Yeah. And then notice where and if you're holding. I'm holding right here on this left inner thigh. Okay, that pectineus has been really tight for me lately. What about you? Maybe you feel tightness in your right outer thigh, or maybe your right knee. Okay, I feel a little bit of weirdness in my knee. What about you? Keep going. Okay, and if you want, you can bring that left shoulder down, left shoulder up. You can add a little bit of a rotation when you do it of the rib cage. Okay, let's do one more. And notice my forehead was tensing, so I'm relaxing that. Okay, come on back. Rest here for a second. Okay, now we're going to add some flair to it. So what I'm going to do, this left arm, I'm going to bring my left arm behind me, and then flare, and then I'm going to bring that left arm forward in front of me like that. And each time my arm goes in a different, it's at a different angle. I can go high, I can go high, high, I can go middle, I almost said medium, and I can go middle, and then I can go low, and then I can go low, or I can go high, and then I can go low, and then I can go middle, and then I can go high, and then I can go low, and then I can go high, and then I can go low, and then I can go low. Which one do you feel that helps your rib cage become more mobile? Play around with it. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to bring this left arm down, and I'm going to try to place the left side of my face on the floor. I can't because the mic is right here, and I'll numb the sound. If you're able to place the left side of your face on the floor, great. If not, don't. Maybe you're only able to get right to here. It's just too much for you, and you can move this right hand. But you're going to try to rotate the rib cage to your right. So I'm exerting pressure with my right hand down into the floor, and then I'm rotating my rib cage to the right. Okay? And then I'm going to bring this arm back. Flare. And then watch this. I'm going to bring my arm as far away from me as possible and just lengthen there. And I can turn that head to the right if I want, and I can rotate to the right. And I feel a great deal of pull in my lats, my left lats. Breathe into that. Again, maybe you're not at my level. Maybe you want to come up right to here, and that's fine. Okay? And then we're going to come back. Flare. And then we're going to bring the arm as close to your body, to your right thigh as possible, and then rotate to the right. Okay? Breathe into that. Where do you feel the pull here? Then we're going to come on back. Flare. Okay, now let's lie on our backs. And then close your eyes. And then with your eyes closed, notice how your pelvis and your rib cage are touching, and even your heels. Now, for me, I feel the left side of my body way more than my right. What about you? Okay, we're going to bend the right knee. We're going to roll on over. Come on up. We're going to do the other side. Why am I so confused about what the other side is? Sorry, I get confused sometimes between left and right. So I'm going to place this left hand to support me, make sure that this right thigh is 90 degrees, and I'm going to try to bring that right thigh, the left thigh 90 degrees, the right thigh as far back as possible. Okay? And then I'm going to place my right hand on the right side of my rib cage, and I'm going to shift this rib cage. Just shifting. Noticing if my forehead is tensing, my jaw is tensing. Do I need to tense them? Nope. Just bringing mobility into my rib cage. With my eyes closed, I'm literally visualizing, feeling my rib cage shift to the left and right. I'm relaxing my right shoulder. And then I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to churn the butter with the rib cage. Do you feel this side is more challenging than the other? And then you're going to switch counterclockwise. Okay, rest there for a second. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, and I didn't bring it up beforehand, maybe you're not able to sit that well on your pelvis, grab a block, okay? Sorry. Okay, now we're going to place the hand on the pelvis here, and we're going to rotate. We're actually going to tilt the pelvis, not rotate it, but there is a little bit of rotation here to the left. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward, anterior tilt, and bring the spine into extension. And then I'm going to tilt the pelvis posteriorly, backwards, and then the spine comes into flexion, especially that rib cage. So anterior tilt, posterior tilt. anterior tilt, posterior tilt. And I just added a little bit of rotation there. So anterior tilt, posterior tilt, anterior tilt, posterior tilt, anterior tilt, posterior tilt. Yep. Let's do 2 more. Anterior tilt, posterior tilt. Is that 2 more? Anterior tilt, posterior tilt. Okay. Let's rest here for a second. I just noticed I was tensing my jaw. I just gotta relax that. Okay, now flare. So right arm comes back to the flare and then comes forward. So I just went medium low, and now I go low, low. And then I go medium, medium, or middle. And then I go high. And then I go high. And then I go low. And then I go medium. And then I go high. And then I go low. And then I go low. And then I go medium. You decide what you want to do. Play around with it. Okay, we got one more. And then watch, I'm going to drop the arm into not too far, not too near to you, the Goldilocks spot. And then I'm going to try to bring the right side of my face onto the floor. And then I really feel this in my left abductors, abductors, my glute med. I feel it in my lower glute where it's connecting with my hammies. What about you? Where do you feel it? Breathe into it for a second. Okay, come on back. Flare. And then this arm's going to go as far forward as possible. And then I'm just going to rotate again. And I'm trying to relax into my left hip. I'm letting this left hip fall as I add a little bit of rotation. Okay, come on back. Flare. Okay, now this arm is close to you as possible. And then I'm relaxing into this left hip. I'm breathing into my rib cage. Okay, come on back. Flare. Okay, let's line our backs. Let's rest here a little bit. Now, what about the right and left side of your body? Do you feel a little bit more symmetrical? Do you feel like there's more balance between the left side and the right side? Or do you feel like, yeah, there's more of that pull on the left or the right? Maybe the left side of your body is the dominant side, like me, or maybe it's the dominant is your right side, and so you feel a little bit more on the right than you do on the left. Okay, keep resting there. And then I'm going to come on up and talk a little bit. I'm going to bend my right knee, roll on over. You can keep resting if you want. I thought we'd finish with just some plane extension in the sagittal plane because we were doing so many rotations there. And so let's go into the bow. I love the bow. So I'm going to lie my belly here. Take your time. And we're going to bend our knees. Now, if you're not able to grab your ankles, don't force it. You can just bring your arms out to the side and do that Mission Impossible kind of position like that, okay? But if you feel like you can grab your feet or your ankles, recommended that you grab your ankles instead. And then I'm going to walk you through this. We've done this one before in a previous episode, and I'm going to tighten the butt, and then I'm going to use my legs to lift my arms. And then I'm going to try to keep my head in a neutral position here. And we have a couple choices. You can relax the shoulders and then lift the arms using the legs, point the feet, point the toes up into the ceiling, plantar flexion there. Or you can squeeze those shoulder blades towards the spine. There's no right or wrong. You can try both. You can just squeeze those shoulder blades towards the spine, or you can just relax the shoulders and then work on trying to bring those legs up a little bit higher. Both positions, you want to try to bring the legs up as high as you can go. Okay, and you'll notice maybe from the back angle there that probably one of my legs is higher than the other. I'm not sure which one it is. Feels like the left one. Maybe it's the right. It's not about perfect symmetry. Okay, now let's go into the breath. Keeping those butt cheeks tight, keeping those quads tight. If you need to come down anytime, please do. Let's do one more breath. Okay, slowly come on down. And then if you want, you can place the palms under your chin. Rest there for a second. And then let's turn over, let's line our backs. We're all done. So again, notice how your back, how your rib cage, and how your pelvis are just touching the floor there. And let your body fall. And I'll see you next week. Take care.